Hello and welcome to Slightly Nostalgic. My name is Griff, and we have watched Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 1, Episode 20, The Siege of the North, Part 2. This is the season finale. It's, of course, the big climax of the season, everything building up to this showdown between the Water Tribe and the Fire Nation at the North Pole. And it's pretty awesome. The episode before this was mostly just setup, but a whole lot happens in this episode. So I've got a lot of little things to talk about, a lot of big things. Let's just get to it. So we get the first actual mention of Azula by name in the beginning of this episode, where Zuko is going on what is kind of a silly edgelord rant, in my opinion, but it's there to give you some exposition and a little bit of character for Zuko, but it comes off pretty cheesy to me when he's just like, I've had to fight and struggle my whole life, and it's made me strong. It's like, okay, you're talking to yourself. You're just trying to sound edgy here, like whatever. But he does mention Azula. He mentions that she was always the favorite child. She's a firebending prodigy, and he's always felt like a rivalry with her and has always resented her for that, I think. It's clearly, in hindsight, just there so that it won't come totally out of left field when she's revealed at the end. Although she has shown up, like I pointed out before, in the episode where they explain what happens to Zuko, how he got burned. Like, she's there in the background watching with glee. So I guess I don't know if they had her in mind the whole time and they put that in there, or that was just kind of a throwaway thing and they were like, let's flesh that out into more of a character. Another little thing I noticed is we learned something about Iroh when he's talking to Zhao right after, very hilariously, the Water Tribe guy, like the really obnoxious guy that's engaged to marry Yue. He runs out there and he's like, you will pay for, or something, I don't know. He says something dramatic and then runs out there to kill Zhao, and Zhao just like throws him in the ocean, and it doesn't even break up their conversation or anything. He just But anyway, right after that we learn that Iroh supposedly, or is rumored to have had a journey into the spirit world of some kind, and Iroh has great respect and fear of the spirits, and definitely doesn't want anybody messing around with him or anything like that. So I think that's new information here. We don't know exactly what happened with Iroh. We don't know why he went from being a general in the Fire Nation to being this guy who kind of seems like he's guiding Zuko toward a different path. Like, he's just being really subtle about it, but with this and a moment toward the end of the episode where he's asking Zuko, hey, why aren't you going after the Avatar now? And Zuko says he's tired, and he says, yes, a man needs his rest. That's a big moment. There have been hints before, like all along the way, but that's a big moment that really shows that something's going on here with Iroh beyond just like wanting to take care of Zuko. He kind of seems like he's trying to guide Zuko down a different path, but we don't know why. We don't know if this supposed journey through the spirit world has anything to do with that. We don't know really what's going on with Iroh's backstory. And actually, I don't even remember exactly if we get an explanation, or like, I know some details get filled out a little bit, but I don't remember specifically how it works out. So speaking of the spirits, it turns out the ocean and moon spirits, for some reason, became fish. Aang finds this out on his journey through the spirit world. And these fish are kept at the North Pole in that special little grotto area, whatever it was called. And for some reason, they don't have like armed guards around it at all times. And it's like super important for the whole world functioning properly that these two fish stay alive. Why did the spirits want to become fish in the first place? Like, all of this is just very weird, not very well explained. We're supposed to just be like, oh, yeah, okay, they're fish. That makes sense. But I did really like the character design of the spirit named Ko, this big, like, centipede thing that steals faces, and he keeps trying to freak out Aang, and Aang, like, is just, like, doing his best to just have no emotion. That was a really cool scene, like, really disturbing. A lot of the things he said were really disturbing, like, it's been so long since I stole a child's face or something like that. It was just like, I really like when they go totally off the wall like that, with a character design. But then once all the fighting gets started, a lot of really cool stuff happens. Katara, because the full moon is out, is able to take out Zuko immediately when they find him. Like, it's not even a fight anymore. Katara has become super awesome. Iroh gets to have a cool moment where he stands up to Zhao and he says, like, whatever you do to this spirit, I will unleash on you tenfold. And like, oh, it's this really cool moment where I love when Iroh springs into action because he doesn't normally fight, but he's really good at it. And then of course Aang's avatar state where he melds with the ocean spirit and just like repels the Fire Nation and just goes ham on everything. It's super cool. And I really like what they did with the color changes in this episode. Like when Zhao had the moon spirit held captive, the moon turned red, so everything was just monochrome red. And then when he killed the moon spirit, everything turned black and white except a few things, like the ocean spirit was still blue, the water it was controlling was still blue, and Yue's eyes were still blue. And by the way, I haven't talked about Yue much at all because I just didn't really care that much about like the teenage romance subplot, but yeah, it is really sad what happens to her. Like, I feel bad for Sokka here. Like, he gets a girlfriend and like a couple days later she has to sacrifice her life to save their people. It's like, oh man. Oh, but speaking of the ocean spirit, I forgot that he basically just murders Zhao here. Like, I forgot Zhao dies here, and it's just like, whoa, that's pretty dark for a kids show here. He just like sucks him into the water and he's just gone. But I noticed they did make a point of having Aang separated from the ocean spirit at that point, so it was just him. Aang's not a murderer here. They like made sure to make that happen. It's all very convenient, but it's fine. But that's all I've got for this episode, so we'll be moving on to season 2 now, starting with the Avatar state is the first episode. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Okay, bye.